This plane in for a landing. I live in Punta Gorda, and in Punta Gorda, 9 p.m. is midnight. So let's see if we can get the Punta Gorda folks home. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about my resume. If you want to know who I am, and I think most of the people in this room know who I am. I've met most of you. Most of you have heard me speak. You can go on my website, Amontree.com. You can go on my LinkedIn profile and see everything about my resume. Really what I want to do tonight is thank the people of West County. I happen to really love Inglewood and very happy that I'm going to be moving closer to Inglewood on August 1st. I'll be just down the road, and that means I'll be able to come more of your West Charlotte County things. And I'll also be able to enjoy the beaches and the restaurants and all the wonderful people here. I've spent the last several months personally knocking on thousands of doors. Not volunteers, not paid staff. What's that?
Leadership of Inglewood.
Yes, and I just finished Inglewood Leadership. I did. I just graduated from Inglewood Leadership. I made some terrific friends there and learned a lot about this end of the county. And I've knocked on thousands of doors. I was just here in Inglewood last week, and what I can tell you is that people are very kind. People said, aren't you nervous to go knock on somebody's door that they'll be offended? No, I've knocked on thousands of doors. The people of Inglewood have invited me into their homes. They've offered me water. And they've told me what they're concerned about in this county. And so that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, is what I'm hearing from people and what I heard from Mike and Sylvia tonight about what they want to hear from candidates. You all have a very important choice to make on August 18 here. Number one thing that I hear when I'm out is taxes, property taxes. People in this county feel like that they are being squeezed, and they're not imagining that. The county budget has grown by double digits every year for the last 5 years. This year, even though the millage lowered, it still went up 14%. The year before, it went up 20%. And that is why the governor is proposing what he is. And that's why he has the support of all of our Republican legislators. And yes, I will be voting yes on that amendment. It is time for our county, and all the counties, by the way, across the state of Florida, to show some fiscal restraint. I am concerned for the rural counties, for counties like DeSoto, Hendry, Glades, that are primarily homestead properties. That is a real concern. But the truth is that if counties across the state had done what they should have been doing, which is showing some fiscal restraint, the governor and Blazingoli, our CFO, would not have the leverage to do what they are doing now. Now, whether that passes by 60% or not, we shall see. But I feel like I could lay money on the fact that more than half the people in this county are going to vote yes. It might not get to the 60% threshold across the state, but I know because every day I'm out there knocking on doors, and when I say to people, what are you concerned about in Charlotte County? That is the number one thing they tell me. They feel like that they are being squeezed out of their homes and they can no longer live here. I come across many 3-generation homes. Grandparents who are retired, their kids who are working, and the grandkids who are maybe in their 20s who are also working. And it's taking all 3 generations just to be able to pay the bills in their home. Next, what else am I hearing about? Growth, unmanaged growth, and especially here in Inglewood, because you brought it up. What you are seeing here in Inglewood is a lot of that pressure coming from the south part of Sarasota. Welland Park, I mean, gosh, I think I saw they're going to add 9,000 homes, is that correct?
Yes, Winchester.
Yes, and the Minnesota Beach Road, people are very unhappy about that. And the truth is, when you live in Inglewood, you don't care where the county line is. It doesn't matter to you that that's happening in Sarasota County because you're the one who is feeling it every day. So what we are seeing in Sarasota County, what we are seeing, I'm going to talk about Charlotte County, that is the result of things that have been set in motion in the last 15 years during the terms of our current commissioners. In 2011, the comprehensive plan that we are operating under, the final approval of that comprehensive plan was passed in 2011 by the current commissioner in District 4. So everything that you are seeing, everything that has been approved that is in agreement with that comprehensive plan is a result of that. The Burnt Store Corridor plan, that was put in place in 2005 and then wrapped into that comprehensive plan in 2011. I've been here for 35 years. When I moved here, the population of this entire county was 100,000 people. Now it's 240,000 people. People are moving here for the same reason that everybody else here did, unless you're a native like John, who's been here, his family's been here for 5 generations. And when you moved here, it was mostly citrus farms, probably.
Cattle.
Okay, Cattle, yeah. A lot of people moved here because we have no state income tax. We do have the free state of Florida governed by Republicans, and especially during COVID, people saw what a good thing we had here, and they wanted to come here. And I can't blame them, right? Like, we gotta look a little bit in the mirror and say, you know, at what point should we have shut the door? Should I have shut the door 35 years ago when I got here? Often I see people who moved here just 3 years ago, and they wanted to shut the door behind him or behind them. That is unrealistic. That is not going to happen. But what does need to happen is the infrastructure needs to keep pace with that growth, and it has not. We've been talking about Harborview Road now for 10 years. So talking about the sales tax, somebody asked a question about the sales tax. I can tell you this, if the sales tax does not pass, I don't know how Harborview Road is going to get done, because they've put that in there as one of the projects. So what else am I hearing about? Boca Grande, beaches. I am going to make a promise to you here tonight. When I get on that commission, if the current commissioners have not solved that problem out there at Boca Grande and gotten us the access that we deserve to that beach, I will do everything in my power to give us back access to that beach. That beach is the beach that my children grew up on. It does not belong to billionaires. It belongs to all of us. Now, people who have property on the beach, they do have their private property rights. They do have rights. But I am not willing to cede our right to be able to go to the beach. I mean, talking about the reason people move here. No income taxes, sunshine, freedom, beaches, right? So I'm going to do everything in my power to get that beach back to us. And that does come down to relationships. Somebody, I think it was John, mentioned about us not having a relationship with commissioners in other counties. I do have a relationship with Trish Petrosky, who is the commissioner that covers that. Doesn't cover the Boca Grande part of Lee County, but butts up to like Babcock Ranch, the Lee County part of Babcock Ranch. And I have let her know. I said, Trish, I said, you have to understand, I'm usually a very pragmatic, goal-driven, rational person. But I said, this is an emotional issue. And I said, I will do what it takes. I'm hoping that, you know, working with them, that cooler heads can prevail and we can come to something reasonable. All right, John's very good question about money. There has been a lot of conversation about money in this campaign. And what I will say to you is that I think everybody in this room knows that that is public information. That is easy enough. You just go to SOE, charlottecountyfl.gov, and you can look at every single candidate and every single election, by the way, not just this election. You can go back and look at 2022, and you can see who has contributed to who. And I also have a professional treasurer. And so, since I knew John had that question while we were sitting here and everybody was talking, I went and I looked up my own contributions because I want to make sure that I am giving you accurate, transparent information. I'm very proud to say that just in the first quarter of when I filed my campaign, 220 individuals contributed to me. And that is a sign when people are willing to write you a check, they trust you and they believe in you. Now, Mr. Deutsch may not remember, but I looked up. We all, well, with the exception of Mr. Melton, who I will say is the only true grassroots candidate. But the rest of us have all received a check from the same person that John Fleming mentioned. His name is Randy Thibault. He is probably one of the largest land developers in Southwest Florida. He mostly specializes in putting parcels of land together for commercial use. So yes, he's bringing the Publix to Burnt Store Road. He also is the person who put together the deal for the Amazon that's coming on Jones Loop. So we all have received a check from him. I have not received any campaign contributions from home builders. I mean, I went back just to double check. I have not received any contributions from home builders. So I have received contributions from people that I've known for 35 years. I've received contributions from people who have contributed to every single campaign that I've had. Parents that I've known that our kids have grown up together. Kids, actually some of my kids' friends have contributed to me because they believe in me. The firefighters have endorsed me and contributed to me. I am overwhelmed and humbled by the amount of support that I have received for this campaign. And what it tells me is that people are ready for change. And I'm going to say one more thing about that, about with people contributing. The only promise anybody who contributes to me gets from me is I promise I will send you a handwritten thank you note. And some of you in this room have received that thank you note. But that is it. All right. So, bringing the plane in for a landing here. The election is on August 18. It will be a Republican primary, and tonight I'm going to ask you for two things. First, I'm going to ask you to make that choice. If you are ready for change, right? If you have a choice here, we can keep going the way that we're going with unmanaged growth, infrastructure that is not keeping pace, keeping the same people in office for another 4 years, or you can vote for somebody who has shown that she can get results. I've gotten results on the school board. I'm prepared to do again as a commissioner. I have operated under very difficult budget conditions as a school board member. We're operating under that right now. I'm sure all of you have read in the paper. Those are hard decisions to make when you have to rein in a budget because it means you are impacting people's lives. But I've made those decisions before. I will make them again. I also have gotten results with workforce development. That's something very important to me. I want this to be the kind of county that other families want to come here and raise their family and have good jobs. I thank Rob for bringing up the aviation training facility. I'll say one thing about that. That aviation training facility, the reason that we have that, and it took a lot of money, is because of relationships. It started with me advocating with Governor Scott, back when he was the governor, and getting $1.75 million. That was followed by Vanessa Oliver, who at the time was an airport commissioner. And she and I, 2 sessions in a row, went up to Tallahassee and made those rounds. One year we got $2 million, the next year we got $3.75 million. We went together with the CEO and the COO of the airport. You don't bring money back to your county without those kind of relationships. It was the relationship that I had with both Vanessa, with Mike Grant before her, and with Senator Albritton. That's why next week we are breaking ground on an advanced manufacturing training facility on Woodlawn in the airport. This year we've received funding to add a welding training program to that advanced manufacturing, also sponsored by Vanessa Oliver and Ben Albritton. So you cannot bring money back to this county from Tallahassee without having those kind of relationships. That's something I feel like I bring to the job that not everybody has. All right, so what we're asking for here, are you ready for somebody who's going to give you those kind of results, or do you want to keep things the same? I'd be very honored to have your vote on August 18, most importantly. Secondly, if you are interested in supporting my campaign, the most important thing is volunteering right now. This campaign, despite all the talk about money, that is not what's going to win this campaign. What is winning this campaign is me being out there every single day, talking to individual voters about what is important to you. I'm the one going to the door, but what I do need is people who are willing to drive me, because somebody drives me, I can get to more. I also am going to need help with getting yard signs out. So if that's something you're able to do, I would greatly appreciate it. I am incredibly honored to be here in front of you tonight. I know many of you for many years, and I appreciate all the support that you've shown me over the years. I'm looking forward to getting to work for this job and to building a bright future for this county. And now do I have time for questions? Is that all my...
We have time.
Okay.
You have a few, just a few
Yes,
minutes.
Sylvia.
Has anybody considered charging the non-residents coming back from Boca Grande an admission to get back to an airport? The only way they can get back is by boat, right? So charge an admission to get back.
So Sylvia asked about charging the residents of Boca Grande to come back over the bridge.
Yes.
I will tell you that as far as I'm concerned, as long as it's legal, there is nothing off the table for me as far as what I would pursue. And people, I have heard people, many people have brought that idea up. Yes.
At the commission meeting, I proposed that we could put a toll gate. We could put a gate at the county line for them.
Is that a question, Mr. Deutsch?
No, there's a.
Oh, okay. Let's stick to questions for the candidate who's up there. All right, go ahead, Mr. Corcoran.
In Naples, I'm asking a question.
Thank
I
you.
believe in Naples, the roads alongside the homes that go to the beach, they're not allowed to walk. They can do that in Naples, shouldn't they? I'm asking the question. If
They can do it. I mean, the truth is what Lee County did is perfectly legal. I mean, they can do what they did.
I don't know how they do it.
Well,
It's a shame. I hear what you're saying.
there's some ideas out there, right? We can make things difficult for them, or we can try
They go
to.
to our schools. We're not allowed to use their beach, but yet their kids can come over and go to our
We all know
schools.
the issue. I'm just saying the solution.
It's very challenging, there's no doubt it's challenging, but I've heard many things out there, and I'm definitely open to hearing what, right, squeeze them. John?
One thing that people don't realize, I don't believe, is approximately a third of Gasparilla Island is Charlotte County.
Yep,
The bridge is owned by Charlotte County.
yes.
So, no?
Well, it's a Gasparilla Island Bridge Authority.
Okay, Gasparilla Island Bridge Authority, but it is attached to Charlotte County. One thing that was brought up years ago at one of the meetings was to increase the annual pass to get on that bridge. That was before they rejuvenated the bridge. Can they do that again?
Well, so the bridge pass fine, the fee is governed by GIBA. Interestingly enough, GIBA has appointed, I think they're appointed or elected, the officials. I think they're appointed. But they have to live on the island. They have five authority, I guess they call them commissioners of the GIBA, that have to live on the island. That is set, the way that that's governed is set in state statute. So one thing that could be pursued with our state legislators is changing how the GIBA is governed. And since the GIBA is physically located in Charlotte County, I would put forward a proposal that the members of that commission should all be Charlotte County residents, with one appointed by each commissioner.
Right.
Who wants to be mine? Sam? Sam, did you have a question?
No, I want to.
Oh, you want to be okay? I saw. You're gonna have to duke Kelly out for it. Kathleen.
Have any of the current existing county commissioners donated to your campaign, and if so, how much?
Yes, I've received contributions from both Chris Constance and from Bill Truex. Bill Truex personally gave me $500, and Chris Constance gave me $1,000. What else? I will say I am friendly with all four commissioners. I used to be friendly with Mr. Deutsch until I decided to run against him. This is a business that's about trust and relationships. It doesn't mean, because I'm friendly with the other four commissioners, does not mean at all that we are going to agree on everything. But those four don't agree with each other right now. But we do have a respectful relationship based on trust. And I've watched a couple of the last county commission meetings, and there was the one before this last one, where they spent 45 minutes talking about the investigations back and forth. And all I could think to myself is, what a colossal waste of the taxpayers' time and respect, right? We have huge challenges coming up here in Charlotte County. We're facing challenges right now. If that property tax amendment goes through, even bigger challenges. And you need commissioners who are going to be able to work together and solve big problems, not spending 45 minutes bickering like they're in high school over who got investigated for what. I think I will leave it with that. Any other last things? All right.
Good landing.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it.
Thank you.